awesome. I know. Keep the camera rolling.
Wherever you are.
All right, cool. Everybody say.
All right, the single that almost didn't happen. All Right is a song about checking in on yourself. It's about feeling good of where you're at, and it's about feeling good of where you're going. It was a firm declaration to everybody listening that had either been with us in the past or just coming aboard, learning about us now, that a change is in the air for this group. There's a change in the air for the three of us individually, and we're okay with that. And it's gonna be magnificent times ahead. And also taking a second to breathe and check in on yourself, because when you're trying to accomplish, astronomical things, the stress can get to you, the pressure can get to you. So it's also telling the listener to check in on yourself and take a minute to breathe when you're trying to accomplish your goals. How did that record come about? The lead single from the Black Odyssey. All Right starts with me going to a show at one of my favorite venues in Southern California, the OC Observatory. And they have this side room called the Constellation Room. And I saw DJ Premier and the Batter Band. Now, what the Batter Band was, Premier would be on the road with this phenomenal live band, and Primo would drop a lot of his biggest records, a lot of the things he did with Guru and Gangstar, a lot of his production work he did with other artists, and he would drop these records and the band would play with Primo. It was such a phenomenal show. And I remember being so inspired, just 2 hours straight of just breakneck hip hop, right? So that Monday night, I came back to the den, Eliminate came through after work. I said, bro, I'm inspired by this Primo shows that last night. We gotta make something like that. We gotta make something with a hard break beat.
Sort of the creative process, like during the Black Odyssey, Chuck, he would make the beats. He made a lot of the album in front of me and kind of chimed in here and there. And I just remember, he was working on something with an organ, and I was like, oh man, it's like church.
I wanted to make a record with an organ. A lot of our sounds in our records, HFP records, we use a lot of Fender Rhodes, we use synthesizers, there's grand pianos, but always wanted, a record with a dirty organ on it, So I was searching for that record, that one record for this album. And when I whipped up the breakbeat for All Right and found the organ loop, I was like, this is the one to do it. The bass line on All Right is probably my favorite bass line I played on the Black Odyssey. It just feels gritty, funky, and in the pocket. And we were literally back and forth. I was doing, percussion sounds on it with a tambourine and a shaker. And Eliminate wrote his first verse that night. Walking every, that whole first verse he wrote that night.
Walk around every feeling like a super villain on the microphone daily. It's where I do my killing. If you clowns try to trip, then I'm blood spilling. But who wants that? You better be chillin'.
Once he had finished All Right, production wise, I had also finished my bars for that. I just fell in love with that song.
We cut a demo of it and we left it alone for a couple weeks. Didn't know what we were gonna do with it. And as we're getting closer to finishing TBO, and the guys will tell you I'm a stickler for sequencing.
Yep. Something about Chuck, he's really big on sequencing.
I felt like we needed one more upbeat record in the beginning of the album next to Speed and This That Jam.
Initially, I don't want to, of course, we believed in our stuff, but, I don't think he necessarily saw a place for All Right on the album.
And Eliminate said, what about All Right? We should go back to that. And I was lukewarm on it. That's cool, but, I wasn't sold on it.
I just had to find him on it. The thing about Chuck is, if you really want something, you got to go to bat for it.
He kept lobbying to me. Chuck, All Right is a banger. We got to finish it. And then finally, after sitting on it, the hook popped in my head. I felt the energy to finish it. It clicked. And it came back. We did the hook. We did the verses. We had Lord come down, do the scratches.
It's just yo, just give me a bunch of scratches, you think would
go with this beat right here, you know, and boom, just scratch here, just going, finding the flow, just keep on going until, you know, Chuck found what he wanted. And I think it was like the first or second take, it was like, that's it, that's that shit, that's what I want. And I was like, word, that's it.
Going back to Premier being a source of reference on this song, anytime Lord and I lay down scratches on a song, we have a motto, WWPD, what would Premier do? Because to us, let me be clear, the benchmark of scratching on record is DJ Premier. To me, when it comes to scratching on record and making it an instrument, the way Primo lays out his scratch montages, he's equal to nobody. He's the best at that. So anytime Lord and I lay out those scratches like we did in Alright, or Elevation, or This That Jam, or any other song that has scratches on it, Premier is the benchmark. And him, myself, and my sister, and Eliminate as well, we all did, you know, the background vocals, the hey, yo, we did all that.
Hey, yo, and everybody say, hey, yo,
And this fool starts laughing. He's like, you want to be on vocals? You want to do vocals? You want to do background? I'm like, fuck yeah. I was like, let me get that shit. They're going to hear my voice.
And even then, I was like, maybe this could be a promo single. It may not make the album, but maybe it can just be like a loose single we tossed out to hype up the release of the album. Eliminate again. No, dude. This is a banger and it belongs on the album. Lobby Me Again.
I had to really, really fight about, you know, getting All Red on the album.
Again, I go back to the sequencing of the record. And we need that energy in the beginning of the album still. And I throw All Right in there. Slot 3. Track 3. And it fit like a glove. When it came time to discuss what is the first video we're going to shoot for TBO, Eliminate Again was adamant. His way of thinking was, we have to establish who is in Honor Flow Productions, because we have so many multiple different lineups over the years. Sometimes it's hard to keep track, so we need to firmly clarify who is a part of this band.
You know, there weren't too many songs that were just the three of us that we could just be the things just straight out the gate. And I had always just thought, man, like, All Right is that shit. Like, it's catchy. You know, the hook is great. Hook is money. The bars are great. You know, we got to go with that.
And the best part about it is the music video. And I had so much fun, you know, shooting it, you know, with LAgom, you know, shout out to Josh and Irene.
The video was shot by Josh and Irene. They had a collective at the time called LAgom Like Minds. They were doing live shows. Excuse me, Irie Rose, she'll probably get mad at me and call her artist name on record. But when you know somebody, you know, since junior high, you're gonna pull out the governments. And they hired me to DJ. I had done a couple shows for them. And Josh had said to me, hey, if you guys ever need music videos, you know, just let me know. And at the time, we were looking for new directors, because at the time, we'd only worked with Oishi. And we wanted a fresh look and a fresh take and a fresh eye on what HFP looks like visually. So we're like, yo, let's do it. So we shot the video for All Right at a studio in North Hollywood, and that shoot was only 2 hours. It's the fastest we ever shot a music video. And the video is very much a nod to, you know, it's a 90s culture kind of video, I believe. You know, the colors of it. I was thinking of it living color, you know, when we shot it. You know, that was kind of like one of the drawing inspirational points. Visually, we were thinking of the video, and they gave us a fresh look, and I have to thank them for that.
All Right is still one of my favorite songs to perform off the album. It's a lot of fun, it's catchy, and the crowd gets into it.
That name for that song is an understatement, man. That shit ain't all right. That shit's fucking dope. But it's one of our top 3 songs. If you ask us to play it, we play it live. And it's one of the most easiest call to response to any of the songs we perform.
And that's how All Right went from a demo to not making the album, to a promo single, to a album cut, to the very first video from the album. And it was all because Eliminate saw and heard something that we didn't see. And he called it. He 100% called it. And this is the joy to me and the benefit of having bandmates, of being in a band versus being a solo artist. Because you have people to bounce off ideas off of. You have different ears and different eyes for your creativity. And they may see something and hear something differently than you do. And in that moment, in trusting my bandmates, we have one of our most popular songs. So you want to ask one of the benefits of being in a band and a land full of solo artists these days? It's very simple. Sometimes 3 heads are better than 1, but also 3 is better than 8 because the check cuts different when it's 3 and not 8. And on that note, that will make anybody feel all right.
From the floor to the ceiling, everyone in the building, if you're feeling all right, well, all right.